I know it's gonna be so awesome!
Phillies and Gentacles, I welcome you to another installment of Pony Fanfiction Theater. I'm your host, Nate. I am the narrator as usual. With me is John and Edward Blake 83, as usual.
Yep.
And this story is called Learning to Fly. I've been requested by Square One Productions to read this one. To read along, folks, you must have Adobe Reader, plus you must download this PDF file to read along. Anyways, let's begin. And this is in the second person once again, just like the other club fiction, spreading your wings and hers. Alright, let's go. You wake up this morning, just like you do every morning. Quickly getting ready, your face down to your workplace. Before long, you arrive at the house of Derpy Hooves, or, as it's often called, the post office. Looking up, you suddenly realize the sky is dark. Frustrated, you know that once again. You've shown up way too early. She isn't awake yet. Hell, the sun isn't awake yet. Not knowing what else to do, you start pacing around a nearby tree. After what seems like an eternity, you see a gray Pegasus open her door, slightly derping her eyes as she sleepily stretches. She invites you inside to get your things and start working. You excitedly rush through the house to the backyard. This is what you've been waiting for. You step into the basket of a large hot air balloon, already filled with boxes of varying sizes. This is your daily routine, but you still haven't gotten used to it. When you came to Ponyville, you befriended Derpy and helped her with her deliveries however you could. Whether it's actually delivering mail on hoof or simply licking stamps all day, she was your only friend, so you would do anything to lighten her load a bit. Plus, if it wasn't for Derpy, you would have never found your current job. You now spend your days delivering large packages that Derpy herself can't handle in a large hot air balloon. There was something about the thrill of being out in the open air, touching the sky, being free, that's always got you excited. You were born an earth pony, but you always dreamed of flying. Lifting into the air in a balloon was the closest you can ever get to your dreams. So there you are, slowly lifting to the air in your balloon, flashing a friendly wave to Derpy. You get shivers as the ground inches away from you. The rising feeling in your stomach is simply invigorating. You must have had this feeling hundreds of times before, though it was always exciting. Something about today was different. You were going to try a whole new kind of delivery. You begin to fly your balloon high up into the sky. Though you aren't moving particularly fast, the tranquility of the sky engulfs you, the sun cascading down onto your face. You let out a deep sigh. This up here is your true home. Before long, you're higher than you have ever been before, pulling up to a large cloud, setting down the balloon on the cloud. You timidly step out into the fluffy mass below you. You've been given special shoes to allow you to step on the clouds, and it was certainly different. You're nervous, but being on a cloud has a strange calming effect that you can't quite put your finger on. After a few minutes of marveling at this new sensation, you remember you have a job to do. Reaching into a basket of the balloon, you pull out a large package with your front hooves. You lift the hairy package up and slowly begin inching toward the large cloud house ahead. After a few steps, your hind legs begin to buckle. You plump down the package onto the cloud. It was just too heavy to carry that way. You could have just leave it right there, but something tells you you regret that. You may never have the chance to spend time in that cloud again. Determined, you decide to push the package to the door with your head. To your surprise, this is extremely easy. The cloud seemed to be almost frictionless. You quickly reach the front door. You attempt to knock on the door, but along with everything else, it is made of cloud, so knocking is almost silent. Despite your confusion, you can faintly hear someone walking up to the door. When the door swings open, you're paralyzed. You didn't know a mare lived here. Normally this wouldn't be a problem, but there was something different this time. It's not the fact that she's attractive, though she is attractive. There's just something enthralling about her. Her eyes, deep pools of emphasis, seem to call on you. Her colorful mane contrasting the plain white cloud only makes her more alluring. Staring aimlessly, you suddenly notice her mouth moving. Was she talking? You suddenly snap back to your senses, shaking your head a little while collecting yourself. Can I help you? She said. Her voice cracked slightly as she spoke, but the distinctiveness of her tone instantly became an object of your obsession. Oh, yeah, I have a package for you, you say, stuttering. This shouldn't have been a question, but an astonishing mare causes your anxiety to show in your speech. Suddenly, you see her eyes lit up. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this like forever. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can't help but smile along with her. Her happiness seems to radiate throughout your entire body as you start to feel butterflies. Oh, it's no problem, ma'am. Just doing my job. Could you sign this? As she quickly signs your paper, holding a pen in her teeth, you realize how ridiculous your attempt at being cool was. You didn't even need her signature, but something tells you that you won't be forgetting about this mare anytime soon. Handing you back your paper, you see her lift the package and carry it inside with ease. You're a bit embarrassed with this, hoping she didn't see you struggling with it earlier. Stepping back into your balloon, you look down at her signature. Slowly beginning to lower the balloon, you read the signature to yourself, letting it resonate in your mind. Looking up to the sky, you repeat her name once more, out loud. Rainbow Dash. You feel a smile creep in your face. You meet her again. You just know it. After finishing work, you finally arrive home, just after dusk, lying in your bed. You think back on the day's events, for the signed piece of paper in hoof. She hasn't said more than a sentence to you, but you just can't get her out of your head. You can't help but daydream about seeing her again. Snapping back to reality, you realize that you've been doodling small hearts on the piece of paper this whole time. Your face suddenly turns a deep red. Embarrassed at yourself, you quickly shove the paper into your saddlebag next to the bed. As butterflies surround your weary mind, you drift off to sleep. The next day seems to merge into a single, ambiguous blur. You go about your daily deliveries, never ceasing to admire your special paper. You begin to associate Rainbow Dash with the sky you love so dearly, daydreaming as you admire the cool embrace of the afternoon breeze. You have already faced the fact that you've essentially gone crazy. You don't care. Thoughts of the stunning mare continuously echo in your mind as your infatuation grows. You return home just like any other day, eager to get some rest. Just before you do, you realize that something is amiss. Your paper! Noticing the absence of your keepsake, you feverishly search your saddlebags and belongings to no avail. After a few minutes, your fatigue begins to get the better of you. You sullenly drift off to sleep, heartbroken at the loss of your revered memento. The next morning, you wake up much later than usual. You force yourself out of bed and solemnly walk to Derpy's home, with your ears tucked down to the sides of your head. You walked into your balloon. Things just don't seem the same. The excitement just seems to have disappeared. As your head points to the ground in sorrow, you see something. Doing a double take, you quickly snatch up your paper and tuck it away, hoping Derpy didn't see, though you're joyful to having gotten your paper back. Finding it makes you take a look back at your own feelings. You weren't some little cult. You were obsessed over nothing. It was just a waste of your time. With these thoughts, you crumple up the paper and toss it to the floor of the balloon. With a newfound strength, you start your deliveries. Rising to the air, you take a look at your first package. It was a large but extremely light. You happily looked around for the next package. After circling a few times, you find something strange. Only one package? Well, that's weird. You think to yourself. So shrugging off the odd situation and looking forward to a short workday, you looked at the address of the first package. As you read it, you feel a lump forming in your throat. You instantly recognize the address. You blink multiple times as you follow a maze of conflicting emotions in your mind. You spent the last 2 days obsessing over the mare, but you also just now convinced yourself to get over her. You had no idea how or what to feel. In the time you spend contemplating your feelings, you reach her cloud, you suddenly find yourself practically shivering in anxiety as you walk up and knock on the door. Your face turns flush red as the door opens. You try to avoid eye contact. Got a package for you, ma'am, you say, attempting to muster your most confident voice. Strange. I'm not really expecting anything. She looks confused as she studies the address on the top of the box. Sorry, but this isn't my address, she says, pushing the package slightly back towards you. You look down the address as well and instantly notice your mistake. You stop, noticing something strange about the address. You've been doing this job for quite a long time, and you know your way around. The address on the package was fake. However, you don't mention a thing. You just sit there with an awkward smile, blushing furiously, stumbling over your words. Before you can do anything else, she cuts you off. Wait a second. Were you just here a few days ago? You stand there motionless and blush even harder, and she starts to smile. You know, if you wanted to hang out with me, you could have just asked. Meet me in the park later so we can talk, alright? She asked, as you stand there shocked beyond belief. She smiles at you warmly and closes the door. The address mix-up was an honest mistake. It wasn't a plot to hang out with her, as she thought. But hey, you definitely weren't complaining. Still a bit shocked, you walk back to your balloon and decide to open the package. Inside you find a little note. Hey there, found your paper. Rainbow Dash, huh? Have fun. Thank me later. Derpy. You can't hold back a smile as you read. Perhaps the Great Pegasus was smarter than you thought. It was a beautiful afternoon, probably the most beautiful afternoon this year. You think to yourself, with a little smile. You neatly tuck away a slightly wrinkled piece of paper covered in tiny hearts as you head for the park. Once you arrive, you sit up beneath a large tree and wait patiently. After only a moment, you feel something fly past your face, followed by a gust of wind. Looking around, you see a bright streak of rainbow shooting around a curve, coming straight for you. Doing a double front flip and sticking the landing, a stunning light blue Pegasus lands in front of you. Hey there, I don't think I probably introduced myself. I am Rainbow Dash, the greatest, coolest, fastest flyer in all of Equestria, she exclaimed, lifting a front hoof and spreading her wings out wide. You met a few other mares in Ponyville, but none of their introductions were quite this awesome. You tell her your name, and she walks up to you, smiling confidently. Well then, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, you want to go for a walk? You smile and nod. With that, you are off. You two walk for hours. It started off with just small talk. She can tell you were shy, but over time you opened up, and so did she. You even told her about the dreams of flying, why you love your job so much. She told you about her troubling youth, her sonic rainbows, and of course, her dreams of becoming a member of the famed Wonderbolts. You didn't really have as exciting a history as hers, but you just adored listening to her stories. But before you knew it, the sky was completely dark. Hey, you want to do this again sometime? I had a lot of fun, you asked, suddenly blushing and becoming timid all over again. Of course, she said, wrapping her front hooves around you. You instantly smile and melt into her embrace. How about, tomorrow, same time? You asked, barely able to speak over your now severe blushing. It's a date, she exclaimed, before flashing you a smile and speeding off to the night sky. This became a normal thing for you two. Every day, after work, you would go on long walks in the park. You were always there for her, and she was always there to support you too. As you grew closer to one another, sharing problems and increasingly deeper secrets, you gradually became the best of friends. Every day became the perfect day, and nothing else mattered. However, today was different. Maybe it was the beauty of the warm spring day. Maybe it was the excitement of another evening at the park. Wherever it was, in your moment of distraction, you got lost while making your deliveries. It's not easy to get lost in the sky, but once you do, you can find yourself dozens of miles away from where you started. You were trained for things like this, so you eventually found your way back to town. By the time you got back, however, the sun was well into setting. You grit your teeth, wishing with all your heart for the balloon to move faster. Neither you nor Rainbow Dash had never missed a day at the park. You knew it was too late to try to make it to the park. You were headed straight for her cloud. Landing on the cloud, you quickly run up and knock on the door. There's no answer. At first you think she's not home, but then you hear something. Running water. She's in the shower. You decide to wait outside till she's finished. After about 15 minutes, you will hear the water stop and knock on the door once again. She soon opens the door, still dripping wet from the shower. It takes a few seconds to focus on her speech. It's near impossible to ignore her soaking wet body. Quickly shutting your dropped jaw, you snap back to reality. Oh my god, what are you doing here? She says with a gasp. Well, I sorta got lost. I feel so bad about not making it to the park, and I really wanted to see you, you said, flushing slightly. Oh my god, she responds, shaking her head. There's a big storm scheduled for tonight. Oh, well, I better go. You say solemnly, walking back to your balloon in defeat. Damn it, it's too late! Looking down, you see the last of the huge dark clouds move into place. You're gonna have to stay here for the night. But I couldn't. I wouldn't want to. You're gonna have to. It's too dangerous to fly in this weather, she says, sighing. Flattening your ears to your head. You walk and sit at the edge of the cloud. And we'll continue this in part 2. Stay tuned.